Okay, hi. We're going to talk about glute bridges real fast. Again, this isn't an overly complicated movement, so it won't take very long. Okay, so the biggest thing to know about glute bridges, here we go, is that there needs to be space in between your knees and between your feet. And you want to maintain that space, okay? What we see happen a lot with glute bridges is that the knees drift inward. Okay, and that tells us a lot about what's happening with your musculature out here. But for right now, all I want you to think about is keeping that space between your knees. Okay, and your feet can be like, toes can be pointed out just a little bit. You don't want to duck it, and you don't want your toes turned inward either. They're pretty straight, like slightly turned out. Okay. Now, when it comes to your arms, I really don't care what you do. And I don't mean that in a bitchy way. You will hear me say that all the time, that I don't care. And I mean that, and I don't mean it in a mean way. It's just like it really doesn't matter. So do what you want to do. You can do it this way. This provides a nice base. So if you're struggling with stability, this is a nice way to go. You can also just keep it on the trunk of your body or put it down to the side as long as you don't push into the ground to raise the hips. That defeats the purpose of the movement. Okay. So, um, and then all you're going to do, right, you're going to set that core, okay, push that lower back into the ground. I want you to feel that for a second. That is really important. If you are having a hard time getting the lower back to the ground, there's a lot of work to do there. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the ceiling, but this just isn't very comfortable. Um, so that is something that you should do maybe when you're watching TV is just pushing that lower back into the floor. That's going to be really important. Now, with this movement, what you're going to do is you're simply going to push down into the floor with the heels at the same time that you raise your hips and glutes. Your glutes, right? Your butt muscles should be clenched. They should be tight right now. Okay. Now, if you'll notice, I'll try to move my arm out of the way. That's a straight line, right? From like my shoulder to my hip, it's a straight angle. It's an angled line, but it's straight. There's not a break here, and I'm not overextending like this. It's straight. Okay, that is what I want you to fight for. Okay, and you may start to feel tired in the core. That's okay. Just fight to keep these hips up and not let them sag. At the same time, check. Are your knees still out? Okay, not way out. We just want a little bit of space in between them. Don't let them drift inward. Okay, you'll find a lot, like when I talk about squats too, we want the knees to stay out. We're not butterflying, not in this one, but don't let your knees drift inward. So, straight line, okay? We don't want to break in the middle. We don't want to overextend. We don't want to arch that back. And we want those knees and those feet to stay outward and not drift inward. And that is the glute bridge. Have fun.